Tim Ferriss, who I always feel like I have to put an asterisk by his name when I mention him to say that quoting him on something doesn't mean necessarily agree with him on everything that he's said or done. He's got obviously an accomplished guy, successful guy, good writer, clear thinker, but he makes some decisions I might find questionable. He's got this great quote, though, that I want to share today because I think it applies, like so many things we talk about, to game development, to our careers, to our businesses, to the various crafts and arts and practical skills we want to develop. And the line that Tim Ferriss uses is that a person's success in life can usually be measured by the number of uncomfortable conversations he or she is willing to have. That actually comes out of the 4-Hour Workweek. Of course, Tim Ferriss is one of his first major selling books. And what I find so great about it is that so many different angles or reasons that it might work from. In terms of sometimes it comes down to needing to ask a boss for a raise. Sometimes it comes down to needing to ask somebody else for feedback. Sometimes it comes down to needing to ask somebody else for help. But there's all these things that if you're not used to asking those kind of questions, can be incredibly, incredibly uncomfortable. Scary. Awkward, right? And going through it might be awkward and scary. But it's the sort of thing that the more you engage in these kind of uncomfortable conversations, of asking for help, asking for feedback, again, asking for what you're worth in the case of an employment situation or potentially with a prospective client or partner, can only benefit you in many cases. And you have this double benefit that, like a lot of things, even if it doesn't go the way you wish, it reinforces that you build up the kind of confidence to have those kind of conversations in the future. That it tells you in your mind, you're not the sort of person that just sits back, does it all inside, and doesn't go out there and try to make that change happen. To at least practice getting better at making those changes happen. Because, again, even if it doesn't go your way, it's going to improve your chances of not only getting those conversations in the future, it's a form of practice. You're going to get better at having those uncomfortable conversations. There's people in lots of lines of work, lots of high-paying lines of work. Negotiation, law, certain roles related to medicine or other kinds of enforcement that really revolve around somebody being able to have uncomfortable conversations. Learning how to have those conversations. Consultants all the time. Part of their expertise is that they can engage in uncomfortable conversations day after day after day. And that's part of how they get the best they can out of life. And so, like I say, whether it seems like it's a lateral ask, whether it seems like it's an ask to somehow, by some measure, a superior in an organization or in a chain of command, or maybe outside your experience level. You know, since I've been organizing now, I think about 80 some odd guest speakers, co-organizing, I don't claim for all that, guest speakers for now 6 different Indicate events. That's, I think, 5 in Los Angeles and 1 last year in Paris. That involved asking a lot of people to be speakers for us. And just like I do now with my online conferences and events, I'm still asking speakers all the time. Or for club guest speakers, or for podcast interviews on GAM Keto Community. And that often involves talking to someone who I maybe either don't know that well, maybe don't know at all, and kind of have to, out of the blue, figure out how to navigate those conversations to be like, do you want to be a speaker for this? And those used to be so much harder for me than they are now. Because I've gone through so many of those, I've gotten yeses, which is encouraging. I've gotten enough no's to be used to it and to not take it personally. And that's the sort of thing that you got to develop practice for. Having those uncomfortable conversations to increase your odds of success in life. I'd be curious to hear down below in the comments, as always, if there's situations you can specifically speak to of where you've had an uncomfortable conversation and it helped move your life forward. And once again, just to cite the source, the quote today came from Timothy Ferriss, or Tim Ferriss's book, 4-Hour Workweek, which again, mixed bag of material in there, but clear thinker, good writer, obviously very successful and accomplished person. But so let us know down below, when have you had an uncomfortable conversation? It's been good for your life. Maybe it's been in your family. Maybe it wasn't even a professional thing. Maybe it wasn't even a skills thing. Maybe it was a conversation you had to have with someone in your family that ultimately helped you lead your life the way you need to. Let us know down below. Look forward to reading them. Thanks, and as always, I'm going to have a video for you all tomorrow. Bye for now.